I want to welcome you guys to my second masterclass. This masterclass, we're going to continue so I can actually show you how to exit corporate safely and strategically into entrepreneurship. So a little bit about myself. I am Debbie, and I literally help women go from corporate, take the brave leap into entrepreneurship. So that is how I help you. For the last 23 years, I have gained extensive experience in different areas. I've got my degree in psychology. I spent many years in marketing, became a graphic designer, and my last corporate job for a big corporate company was in sales. I was a sales executive. And of course, I had different businesses throughout these 23 years. So that is why I know exactly how it feels to be in corporate, but also how it feels to be entrepreneur. Like I said, in marketing was extremely corporate. That was a FMCG company. And from the FMCG company, I went into healthcare. So healthcare was also extremely corporate. And from the healthcare company, I actually started my first sandwich baron. So entrepreneurship. I have bought a shop, a franchise. And that was my first introduction for entrepreneurship. While I was still employed at the healthcare company, I had a side hustle of a coffee shop. But yeah, it didn't last long because I couldn't work 7 days a week. So I sold a little coffee shop when I decided that one day I really want to become an entrepreneur because it's so nice to actually serve people and have a product that people love. After my sandwich baron, I went back into corporate. So I worked for a big corporate company. I was the marketing assistant and graphic designer. And then I got retrenched for a year. I couldn't find a job. It was very humbling. I lost everything. But doors always opens when you have the right mindset. And I fell back. That's when I actually got introduced to sales. Never thought I would ever do sales because I was such an introvert back then. But it was telesales, cold calling, so it was horrible. But I kept on going and I made a success of it. In the last 8 years, I worked for an extremely big corporate company. In South Africa, we know it as Bidvest. And I was a sales executive. And then, in 2020, I resigned. And now for the last 5 years, I am a life coach, and it's been very, very well. So I know exactly how the transition is. I know exactly the fears. I know exactly the doubt. So that is why I decided, to help other corporate women. If you are really ready and you want to create a business and a life of freedom, I am your coach. And that's why I created this amazing program. So what you're going to learn today in this hour is the exit readiness audit. It's very important that you need to know if you are ready to actually take the leap. It's not going to help if you're still thinking about it, if you're still on the fence. This program, my program, is for women who are ready to take the leap. You can see where you are faring, and if you are still very cold, not ready to leave, if you're in the middle, or if you are really now, I'm going to resign within the next 3 months, 6 months. We're also going to look at the financial freedom formula. So I'm going to show you how to build multiple streams of income, not just one, but it's very good to have multiple streams of income. Then we're quickly going to look at the psychology of entrepreneurial mindset. It's very, very important. I'm all about mindset. So for me, I want to teach you all about mindset and how to have the right mindset to actually go from a corporate into entrepreneurship. And then I'm going to show you the 90-day exit timeline. So 90 days. So you can see what is the first 30 days, then the 60 days, and the 90 days that you should do, and all the activities that's included in that section. So that's what we're going to look today. So before we start, there's a shocking statistic that says that 73% of corporate women who try to leave actually go back within 6 months. Yeah, that's definitely not a nice statistic to see if you are thinking. But the reason why they fail is not because they're not smart or capable. It's because they don't have a plan. These are the women who just say, oh no, I had enough. I just resigned on a whim. And then they think they're going to start a business, but they didn't actually plan. So this is what I want you to avoid. So I want you to leave, and then within 6 months, you actually double your business. That's my goal for you. And that's what I would love to work with you. So yes, let's move on. So thinking about yourself, how long have you been thinking about leaving? Been 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years? Really be honest with yourself. How long have you been thinking about quitting? But what is your biggest fear? What is the fear that comes up? So really be honest with yourself and see where you're at. Let's start with section 1. So section 1 is going to be the exit readiness audit. So the problem is that most women leap before they are ready, and that's where they land flat. Okay, so this is what I want you to avoid. So this is what I'm going to help you. So in this audit, we are going to look at 5 indicators to actually see if you are ready to leave. Okay, so the first one's going to be financial indicator, the emotional indicator, skill readiness, network readiness, and timing readiness. Are you ready? Let's go. Okay, so let's look at the financial readiness. Okay, it is not about having R1 million, $1 million, or 10, how many dollars you have in the bank. It's not about that. Okay, you have to have money in the bank by all means. You can't just, think you're going to supplement your salary within a month. If you really have a good product, by all means, it can happen. I always say everything is possible, but I've worked with too many women to know exactly what is reality and then what is living in the Lululand. Okay. So you need to know exactly what is your exit number. What is your exit number? What is what you actually need to survive for 6 months while you're building a business? Okay. And why it's important, because I see a lot of women actually overestimate this amount by 300%. Okay. So you think you actually need like 100,000 Rand safe, but you actually need 30 grand. Okay. It is very important that you calculate what you need to survive, not to thrive, not to have a luxurious lifestyle, but what you need to literally just survive. Okay. So the key is to actually calculate your survival budget. Because now you actually build a life around your salary. You've built the environment around your salary, but I'm sure you can actually go down and see what you don't need. Less eating out, less spending money on clothing, less whatever. And then what is the survival amount that you're going to need to actually exit? You need that amount for at least minimum of 6 months that you can carry yourself. Okay. But I always say, please go watch my previous masterclass as well. It's called Launch and Lead. So there I actually tell you about the bridging strategy, how to actually bridge. There's 4 different ways to bridge, to go over from corporate into entrepreneurship, how to do it. Okay, so some people take a sabbatical, some people get a part-time job while they're employed. So there's different strategies that you can use to actually get this money that you need to leap. Okay. So the next one is called the emotional readiness. I want you to be truly honest with yourself. How many Sunday nights are you getting the Sunday scaries or the Sunday blues? Okay. I don't know wherever you're watching, but I know for the South Africans watching, we used to have this program called Carte Blanche, and it used to be on 7 o'clock and Sunday nights. And I always remember when I was still in corporate, as soon as I hear that, because the TV was on in the background, and as soon as I heard that Carte Blanche, the melody, I immediately went into depression. Because that actually signaled that the weekend is over, and then tomorrow I have to show up for a job that I didn't enjoy anymore. So that is called the Sunday blues. That you actually feel, you're actually sad that the weekend is over because now you dread going back on Monday to a job you don't like anymore. That's called Sunday blues. So on a scale from 1 till 10, rate yourself. How many Sunday blues are you getting? 1 is not, you don't hardly ever get it. 5 is like you get it here and then, maybe twice a month. And then 8 till 10 is like you get it a lot every week. Okay, that's going to show you how ready you are to take a leap. When your body is literally rejecting the idea of going back another day into a corporate job that you actually don't want to be in. Okay, I always say, I call it my parking lot moment. Is I remember sitting in my car in the parking lot, and my body physically couldn't get out, not because I wasn't able to, it's just because my body didn't want to go back into that building another day. And those were all telling signs that I was ready to leave this job. It was making me so bad, so blue. Okay. So, but if you're just a 4 and 5, you're definitely not ready yet to take that brave leap into entrepreneurship. Okay. And another emotional readiness that you need to ask yourself is, are you going to be okay with the unknowing, the uncertainty of entrepreneurship? Because currently you know exactly your salary, You know exactly what is expected of you. You don't make the final decisions, you know. But with entrepreneurship, it's so totally different. Entrepreneurship's got seasons, and sometimes there's no clients. Sometimes your product don't sell. And there's always uncertainty. You never know really what you're going to get in the end of the month. Are you willing to sit in that uncomfortableness? That is one of the biggest indicator if you are ready or not. If you're willing to take on that uncertainty. The next one is called the skills readiness. So here I want you to check what is your current skills that you can transfer into actually develop one of your income streams. So we all have skills, guys. Currently, when you sit in your corporate, if you are an accountant, you know how to work Excel sheets, you know how to budget, you know how to work with tax, VAT, and all those things. You know these things. If you're perhaps in HR, you know how to do interviews, you know how to look at CVs, you know how you've got people skills, you've got listening skills. So really write down every skill that you know that you have, and also go ask your friends and your family and your loved ones. Because sometimes they actually are aware of your skills that you're not even aware of. Then ask your husband. I think he'll come up with different things. But yes, ask people around you. What do you think is one of my great skills that I have? So you have to make a list, and you see this list of if it's transferable, that you can actually start making one of your income streams with the skills. Okay, because a lot of women think they don't actually have valuable skills, but that is just corporate conditioning. You will not be doing your job where you currently have if you didn't have the skills to do that. And you can use that skill for yourself to create an income stream. Okay, so you need to know what is yours. The fourth indicator is network readiness. Guys, this is one of the most important things for an entrepreneur. And I can definitely attest to this. You need to have relationships outside your corporate bubble. Okay. You need to know who, if you're going to transition, who are going to be your clients. And that's one thing I always say, never burn your bridges when you leave corporate, because you never know that your colleagues or your bosses can perhaps be your future client. I always say have good relationship with everybody around you, even when you leave. Okay. And you need to start identifying who's going to be your potential clients, who's going to be your potential collaborators. Because collaborators are very important, especially in entrepreneurship. Because it actually opened their network for yourself as well. And you get to collaborate. And if they have a bigger following, social media, or bigger clientele basis, you can tap into that. That's an enormous resource, is to actually start collaborating with people. Okay. So you need to start thinking who's going to be your network. And networks can also be things like, at school, mommy networks, or it can be sports, cycling, running, whatever type of network you can be. You can use that network to actually gain more clients or to sell your product or to offer your service. So it's very important that, because, you're definitely going to advertise, but that's going to be cold leads. People normally buy from people they trust and people they know. So you need to start building your network outside your corporate bubble. Okay. So think where you can meet like-minded people, and especially entrepreneurs. I am part of a thing called BNI, Business Networking International, and that definitely helped my business, because there is so many people out there, because we're all part of this network and we're all business people, we're all entrepreneurs, and we actually use the referring system to refer everybody's businesses. So that is one of the best places to actually network. Like-minded individual, because you get free mentorship, free training, you actually spend time with other entrepreneurs and you hear their struggles, you hear their successes, and you can sometimes pick up golden nuggets that can help you in your business. So it's very important. The next one is the timing readiness. Guys, this is very important. Okay. So this is all about the market condition and your personal circumstances. Okay. You need to know if your product or your service that you're thinking about selling or offering is actually, there's a demand for it in the market. Okay, so really think whatever your product is there actually a demand? Is the market conditions viable for your product now? And then you have to look at your own personal circumstances. Okay, So look at your target market, see if there's opportunities in your target market for your product. Like I said, you need to understand that, let's say you want to, I don't know, crochet beanies. Do you really think there's a demand in the market for that? And if you're going to launch your product in the summer, you're definitely not going to have any sales. So you have to start doing the research. If your product, your idea, your service offering, whatever it is that you want to offer, is there a demand in the market? Then also look at your own major life events. What is currently happening in your life? Let's say I don't know, you're going to get married in the next 6 months. It's definitely not time to resign and start a business. Okay, you have to be realistic that you need time to start a business. And especially if you're going to create streams while still being employed, you need time. So if you have major crises now in your life, if there's sicknesses, illnesses, weddings coming up, maybe you are pregnant now, in the next 3 months you're going to give birth, it ain't the time to start a business. Okay, so really look at these things and see if you are ready to take that leap. So I'll put a download for you in the chat so you can actually get the readiness scorecard. So it's a very nice scorecard that you can actually score yourself on a scale and on scales and calculate it and see how ready you are to take that leap. If you're hot, that's when you start working with me. Okay. The next section we're going to look at is called the financial freedom formula. The financial freedom formula. Okay. One of the biggest lies that corporate tells you is that your income, your salary is secure. I'm sure if you all listening to this, most of you have only one source of income. You only have one job, one salary coming in. Some of you might have like passive income streams like investment, rental properties, or something else on the sideline. But most of you sitting here only have one income. And corporate always say you should be glad to have a job, that is security. But that's the biggest lie of them all, guys. One restructure, one new boss, and what then? You lose your job? Where's that security? It's gone. So one income stream is the biggest lie. Real security is diverse income, multiple streams of income, and this is what you need to create. Even in my own life, I'll tell you now, I have multiple streams of income. I don't put my eggs in one nest. You are going to get burned. I've learned that working for corporate companies where they actually had to close down because I focused on one client, and when that one client went bust, they went bust. Okay. So we're going to look at 4 different income streams that you can build. So one is called the stability, one is the growth, one is the passive, and one is the safety stream. So let's get going. So stability growth stream. So this is the stream you are going to use to replace your immediate income. Okay, so you are going to now look at your skills. So let's use the accountant one. So you are an accountant. So you're going to see what is the skills that you can use immediately to start replacing your income. Okay, so that is normally a service base where you use your skills. So for the accountant, it will be she's going to start doing people's taxes at home. So after hours and weekends, you're going to start doing people's books, people's taxes. You're going to help with certain accounting things that they need to do. Okay, for me, back then when I resigned, I started doing freelance marketing consulting for businesses, small businesses. And because I had a graphic designing background, I could help with logos, CIs, designing whatever they needed. And then also my signage. My background, my last corporate business was in signage. So currently I'm being 12 years in signage already. So I used my immediate skills that I had. It was the marketing, graphic designing, and sales knowledge that I had. And I quickly started to become a reseller of my knowledge. Okay. So what I did, I just resigned without having a plan, and that's what I'm not recommending. It was way too chaotic. It was so uncertain. I lived in so much fear, so I don't want you to do it. Don't follow me. Okay, I want to give you the better option is to actually having a bridging strategy to do this. So while you're still employed, you are going to start looking at your own skills and see what can you start on the sideline using your current skills. Okay, For others, it might be virtual assistants, other words, be good bookkeeping or project management. Think what you can use your current skills to start a sideline hustle using your skills. Okay. So the key for this stream is to start generating income within the 30 days of leaving your corporate job. Okay. So luckily for me, it helped because, in sales, people buy from people. That's one of the biggest things out there. And my previous clients trusted me, and they said wherever I go, they will follow, and whatever. So as long as I'm on the project, they don't care where I actually get the signage from. So I retained a lot of my big companies, so I actually could just start being a reseller because of my knowledge and my skills. And with graphic designing, it's always word of mouth. And with my clients, I gave them an extra service as if you print with me, I can design for free for you. So that was a great selling point. Okay, but really think now, what is the one income stream you can start now by using your skills? The second one is called the growth income stream. Okay, so this is going to be where your passion project is going to come in, is what you're going to sell, what you're going to scale, what it is that you really want to make out of a business. Okay, so this is going to be your second income stream. So you're first going to have something you can fall back on that's going to start generating income that you really love. And then this is going to be your passion project. So for me, that was life coaching. So already in 2019, I got certified because I knew I wanted to become a life coach. But fear still held me back. And if it wasn't for COVID, who literally almost pushed me out of my job, I don't know where I would have been. But yes, everything always works out. But that was my passion project. I said I want to become a life coach. And you would know if you can't just quit your job and become a life coach immediately because nobody knew about me. So that's why I had my signage as my first income stream that can sustain me, that can carry me while I built my passion project. That was my life coaching. So I had to go get my website, my logo. I had my workbook already. I had to work out my program, and then I had to start advertising. And I only got my first client, 6 months later when I resigned. Literally, December 2020 was my first paying client. And then that January, everything just started flying. Okay. So think about what can be your project, your whatever it is. If it's going to be online coaching, if it's going to be courses online, if you're going to sell something on e-commerce, it's going to be service based. If you're going to offer something, if you're going to open a shop, whatever it is, this is going to be your scalable thing. This is going to be the thing that can grow bigger and bigger, bigger. The thing that you love. Because I don't want you to do something that you don't love, guys. Then you're just going to be back at a job and you're going to have the Sunday scaries again. So this must be something that you really want to create. And when you put passion, I always say passion pays. Okay. So think about what is this going to be, because this is going to take longer to build. Like I said, it's going to take about 3 to 6 months to build this stream before it becomes actually stream of money coming in. So think about what is going to be your growth stream. The third stream is called the passive stream, and this is a very important stream that you have to start building already, even now. Okay. So this is money, this is having money while you sleep, so something is happening in the background, and while you sleep, you're actually making money. Okay. So this could be anything like affiliated marketing. You can sell digital products online. It can be rental income from investment properties, or it can actually be investment. So it's not something that you physically do. It is something that you maybe work once on, and then that actually generates an income for you while you sleep. So you don't work actively in that business. It is money coming in from a different source. Okay, so normally this source takes a long time to build. And if you don't have a lot of capital putting into investment, it's going to take a long time to build. But all the money coming in from your first stream and your second stream, you can start putting away into your passive stream. If it's an investment, if it's buying your rental property, if it is creating a digital course and you need to pay for the website design and the e-commerce, whatever it is. But then later on, when it's done, that just starts generating money for you. That's passive income coming in. It's a very good stream to have. Okay. Then the last stream, I call this the safety stream. This is your emergency backup plan. Okay, so when things might not work out as you planned, or something happens, life always happens, guys. And there's always, take it from me, there's winter months in your business when things are very slow and things are not working out. That is when you have to have a safety stream. Okay. So this can be anything like part-time consulting, freelancing work, or a skill that you can monetize immediately if needed. Okay. So for me, it is because I don't do a lot of graphic designing anymore. I still kept the signage because that is something that is doesn't take a lot away from me. And I've got clients that keeps on ordering the same stuff, so it's almost like a very easy thing to do at the moment. But I don't do graphic designing because that's extremely time consuming. But if need be, this is my emergency fund. I will go back to graphic designing. Okay, and if it needs be, I will take on more signage clients. So this is my safety fund. This is my safety stream. I will only use it if it's really going bad. Okay, so for me, normally December and January are the worst because everybody's on holiday, everybody's going away. So then I don't have a lot of coaching clients. So that is normally when I tap in to my other streams more than usual. Okay. So think whatever it is for you, if it is you're an accountant, that you are maybe going to do people's taxes. You know, it's not your favorite thing to do, but it is something that can sustain you. If you're perhaps in HR, then you think maybe I'll help people revamp their CVs and get them interview ready or something like that. Because I think what your skill, you can monetize one skill. That is called your safety stream. So once again, I actually have a very nice download that I'm going to give to you, and it's called the Income Stream Opportunity Worksheet. So in that worksheet, it's going to help you to start thinking, what are your 4 income streams are going to be? What are your skills? How I can monetize it? And then how you can start creating these streams for yourself. So really use this download. It's really going to help you start thinking and opening up. Good. So this is just a quick case study. So I helped a client, Sarah. She was a financial manager, and back then she made about 45,000 rand a month. So when she started working with me, we immediately start with freelance bookkeeping. I said, well, you're gonna have to start doing people's books. And she signed up 2 clients, and she charged him 4,000 rand per month, and she had then an income of 8,000 rand per month. Okay, so this is while she's still employed. Then her big dream was basically do financial coaching. Because she got a vast experience. She was 20 years in the financial sector, different opportunities, and she said she's got a lot of knowledge and how to budget and how to actually invest in those things. So that was her dream. She really wanted to do that. So she signed up 3 clients at a very small, beginner phase at 5 grand each. So she got 3 clients and she started making 15,000. Then she actually created a small beginner's guide for about budgeting, how to budget. She made very nice spreadsheets that connects here and connects there. It was freaking amazing. And for somebody like me, you don't budget or you do a lot of Excel spreadsheets. I actually enjoyed that. And she actually made 5,000 rand that month with her. She sold it for, I think it was 299 or 399, I'm not sure. And then she had a few clients signing up, but she made about 5 grand. And her last stream that she said that she will fall back if she really need to, but she's not going to do it, was the tax preparation service. So SARS here in South Africa is where we need to pay the government. So she said she will do those for people, help them with that. Okay, so within 8 months of having this system, she started making about 28,000 rand per month from her streams. And then she felt confident enough that within 18 months, she actually left the corporate job and now she's making over 60,000 rand. Actually, it's now actually more since I made this recording, that she's actually making much more. So it is possible. You just have to be clever and think what it is. Let's say HR, you're in HR. So your immediate thing that you can do is perhaps help people create new CVs. Your big thing, whatever it is going to be, perhaps your dream is to, I don't know, interview coaching, how to get people ready for the coaching, and you sell programs on that. Teach them about confidence, how to show up, how to speak, how to do the research before you to get them literally interview ready in a sense. Then online, you can perhaps sell something like, a quick template for a perfect CV, or a template of how to prep yourself for questions, and you sell it for cheap. It's things that needs to work for you while you sleep. And then your fallback plan is perhaps, I don't know, maybe recruiting or something like that, if that's going to be your fallback plan. But there's always ways. You know your industry, you know yourself, you know your skills. But guys, make sure that there's demand for it in the market before you just leap. Okay. Next section is the psychology of corporate recovery. So once again, this is very important. You have to have the right mindset if you want to become an entrepreneur. Okay. Like I said, I've been working with a lot of women, men and women. I also have men in my Brave Leap. It's very nice. They bring a whole total different perspective to this. But the biggest obstacle for people going from corporate is internal. It's not the external circumstances, it's internal. Because you guys have been programmed, and I was there. We've been programmed that, you have to think like an employee, not an entrepreneur. Because you always get told what to do. You can't think for yourself, you can't be creative. You've got a certain thing that you need to do, a strategy to follow, a protocols to follow, a program to follow. You always have somebody above you who makes the final decisions, and you just a pleb down here actually implementing all the things. So that's employee mindset. You don't take accountability, you don't take responsibility, you don't take risks, because it's not your problem. You work for a fixed salary, you give a certain amount of hours to them, and you expect a salary. So that's a fixed mindset. Okay, there's no growth in that mindset. Okay. So I work with corporate women, and when they come out, they literally have the employee mindset, and it's not going to work. Okay. So normally they undercharge themselves, they over deliver, they work themselves into a burnout, because they think they have to create so much and give so much away because I haven't done this before. And yeah, I need to help you. And that's all becoming because of your corporate conditioning. Okay, so that's why mindset is very important. That's also the first pillar of my Brave Leap course, my 12-week course. We'll discuss a little bit later. But that is mindset, because I need to teach you how to have a different mindset, because the only thing that's going to save your business is going to be your mindset. You can have a lot of customers, your product can be well, but if your mindset is not correct, because remember, you create your reality. Whatever you think, speak, and take action towards is going to create a ripple effect in your future. If your mindset is not right, if you're going to have winter months when things are slow, when there's no customers, how are you going to react? When you open your bank account and there's literally no much more money in the bank account, how are you going to react? And that is where I need to build you the resilience muscle and show you how to be clever and how to actually be your own coach, your own mentor to get you through those winter months. Okay. So the 3 identity shifts that you require is, the first one is going from employee to entrepreneur, going from permission seeker to decision maker, and then going from a time trader to a value creator. So the first one is to shift from employee mindset to entrepreneurial mindset. So employee mindset, like I said, corporate people follow processes, they avoid mistakes, they seek permission, and they avoid risks. Okay, because you are not the final decision maker, so you can literally push off everything to everybody else. Okay, you've got a certain protocol, there's a system, there is things that you need to do every day, and you just follow it. You just do it blindly. It's habitual. There's no growth. You just do. Okay. The entrepreneur, it's totally the opposite. Okay. You need to create your own processes. You need to see, does this system work? Is the system scalable if I get more clients, more products? So you need to actually be the one who creates these systems, to test them, to see if they're viable, learn from your mistakes if they don't work, and then implement new ones. You're going to have to take responsibility for everything, from your service to your delivery, from your product, your marketing. You are going to wear all the hats, not just one hat. In corporate, you have got one title. In entrepreneurship, you have all the titles. You are the marketing assistant, you are the marketing manager, you are the sales manager, you are the CEO, you are the COO. You've got all these different titles in your own entrepreneurship, and you need to know how to wear all of those hats. Okay. Second one is going from permission seeker to decision maker. So Like I said, now there's always somebody above you, another manager, another level. So you always have to ask them before you do things. You always have to get, and you can't make the final decision or whatever it is. So with entrepreneurship, it's literally the opposite. You are the final decision maker. The box stops with you. You need to create the processes. You need to make the decision. And sometimes it's going to work out and sometimes it's not. Okay, I haven't met an entrepreneur who just makes viable, good decisions. And I had made a lot of mistakes in my business. I've invested a lot of money. I've lost a lot of money. I've used companies that were not in line with my goals. So like I said, I've lost a lot of money. So I've enrolled in courses that actually gave me nothing. But that is part of the learning curve. Okay, so I always say nothing is wasted because at least I know what I don't want and I know exactly the people who I'm not going to work with. So it's all lessons and that actually help me grow my business. Okay, so you need to take a risk, guys. One of the biggest things I always have to take calculated risk is what I told them. I need to know, can I afford this? Must I use this? Whatever it is, you need to take calculated risk. Nobody's going to come and give you permission, and nobody's going to come and hold your hand and say, yes, this is what you need to do. You need to make these decisions. Okay. And you have to stop looking for outside validation. You have to give it to yourself. Then the third one is going from a time trader to a value creator. So currently you are trading your time for a salary. So you have fixed hours, you get paid by the hour, a salary or billable hours. So that is it. I give 8 hours or 10 hours a day and I get X amount of money. Okay. With entrepreneurship, it's not going to work the same. You are going to work longer hours in the beginning, and then later on, you're going to work shorter hours for more money. Okay. You just need to remember that you don't expect, I worked 8 hours a day and I expect this type of money coming in. It's not going to work. Okay. With entrepreneurship, you actually get paid for the value that you create. If you give a good service, you can charge more. If your product is really valuable, you can charge more. You can't expect to sell a crappy product or, excuse me, give a crappy delivery or whatever and expect a lot of money. People will never use you again. And you're going to work 8 hours and give a crap product, you're not going to make more money. So for entrepreneurs, we know that the more value I create, the better my product is, but the better my service is, the better opportunities and things I can create for myself, the more I get paid. For me as life coach, I can't just have the same program for 10 years. I have to be innovative. I have to come up with new courses. I have to do master classes. So this is extra hours I put into my business. I have to do the recordings and then I have to edit the recordings and all of these things. So it's extra hours. But I know long term, whatever I do now, the return on investment long term is going to work out for me. So I'm willing to work certain weekends. I'm willing to work sometimes 8 to 10 hours a night. It is just what I need to do so my business can grow. But I know later on, a few months from now, years from now, then I can only work 4 hours. It depends how my business scaled. So keep this in mind. And then a quick bonus mindset is a thing going from scarcity mindset to abundant mindset. Because this is the one thing that corporate trains us, guys. They make sure that you have living in a scarcity mindset, that you need your job, that you should be thankful for your job. But like I said, one restructure, one bad month in the company, and you gone. Then there's no security. Okay. But I hear a lot of my clients say there's not enough time, there's not enough money, they don't have enough skills, blah, blah, blah. Excuses, excuses, excuses. That is called a scarcity mindset. Okay. You can create more money. Money is energy. Money is everywhere. But you need to be clever. But if you're going to have a scarcity mindset, money is not going to flow into your life. It's all about freaking mindset again, guys. And there is enough time. What are you doing? How many hours are you spending on social media? How many hours are you spending on TV? Are you part of the 5 a.m. club? Like me, the 4 a.m. club. There's always time. Skills is something you can learn. So stop making excuses. So entrepreneur, for me, I always have the mindset that there's always enough. Even when I started life coaching, I saw in my environment, in my community where I lived, there was already 7 life coaches. So if I bought into the fear and said, I can't become a life coach in my community because there's already, 7 life coaches, I wouldn't be a successful life coach. So I said, even despite of them being the 7, there's enough money to go around. There's enough clients to go around. The pie is big enough. So you see my growth mindset. There's always enough clients, there's always enough money, there's always enough opportunities. So my mindset created me to become one of the top life coaches in my community. There are others who were longer in the industry, but looking at my reviews and the clients that I get, I'm top because of my mindset. I didn't let fear stop me, let doubt stop me. I said, whatever it is, there's always enough. I always have the mindset there's always enough money in my bank account at the end of the month to pay my bills. And I've never been short 1 month. Okay, so it's all about mindset. Get your mindset right and you will thrive in your business. Moving on to your 90-day exit timeline. So this is very important. So why 90 days, guys? Guys, it's a balance between preparation and momentum. Okay, if you wait longer than 90 days, you're going to lose momentum. I'm sure all of you, I'm also one of those person. If something drags out too long, I don't have the energy to go on with it anymore. I lose my momentum. But if things are so rushed and so overwhelmed, I feel overwhelmed, I get burnout, and I say rather not. Okay, so that's why it's a nice balance between 90 days. It gives you 3 months to plan your exit strategy. Okay, so less than 90 days, it's too rushed, it's not enough planning, there's not a strategy, and then you are going to feel overwhelmed. Okay, excuse me, that's why I call it the 90 days. Okay, so phase 1. So phase 1, your first 30 days. Okay, this is where you need to start calculating your exit amount that you need. Okay, so using my spreadsheet or my little download, you're going to actually calculate what it is the amount that I really need to survive for 6 months. Okay, you're going to start building your first income stream. Remember stream number 1, your stability income stream. What is your stream going to be? So let's say you plan to leave corporate in the next 4 months. Okay, next 3 months, next 4 months. Then this is what you're going to use this strategy, these phases to start planning. So the first 30 days, the first month, you start calculating your exit number. You start see where you are if you are ready to leave, and you start building your first stream. You look at your skills and say, how can I monetize my current skills? I'm going to start working while I'm still employed. Okay, so like I said, if accountant, you're going to start doing people's books, so people's taxes, whatever it is on the sideline. Okay, so activities includes financial planning, skills assessment, marketing research, and network building. Okay, so by day 30, you've got the clarity on your exit strategy and your first income stream should be developed. Okay, so this is phase 1. Moving on to phase 2. So phase 2 is your 60 days. So this is where you start building, you start getting income from your first stream and you start building your second stream. Okay, so this is where you're going to say, this is my project. This is what I want to do. I want to become, I don't know, a doggy parlor. I want to open a doggy parlor. I want to open a beauty salon. Whatever it is that you want, this is you're going to start thinking and doing the research for your second stream of income. But now within the 60 days, you already have the income from your first stream. Okay, so you're still making money now while you're still employed. So this is now going to see, let's say you want to open a doggy parlor. So you are going to start seeing, where am I going to find my clients? So you're going to start doing client acquisitions. You're going to look at your service delivery, your product, whatever it is. Okay. And then you're also going to focus on your first income stream. Is there more clients that I can get? Is there a better service I can offer? So you can actually start building up your first income stream more. Let's say not just 10 grand a month. Now I'm making 20 grand with my first income stream. Okay. So by day 60, you should have a consistent income from at least one stream. And you have to have clear progress on your second stream. You've done the research, you've got your niche market, all of those things. So that is in my program. There's 2 weeks that we focus solely on your product, on your service. What is it going to be? What's your target market? How are you going to reach them? Is there demand in the market? So I literally help you to get clarity on what it is that you are going to do and if it's going to be viable. Okay, so that's day 60. Then in the last 3 months of you now deciding that you are going to leave, this is when you resign, guys. This is when you literally type up your little letter. You give it to them, you celebrate that you took the brave leap and said, enough is enough. Okay, so then you also start transferring your responsibility to the new person who's going to work with you, whatever it is. And I always say, please, guys, don't burn your bridges, no matter what, because you never know who you're going to need in your future. They could be potential clients. So really look and make sure that you leave your corporate business in a very good ethical way. Okay. And then by 90 days, you should now have income 1, very stable is the income. And you already know now with stable 2 that you are ready to launch your second income. Okay. Because now after your 3 days of notice, you're going to leave. And then you literally have to step into your launch of your new business. Okay. That is what you need to do. So what you've learned today is the 5 readiness indicators. So you need to know if you're ready or not. Looking at that, you need to know how to build your 4 income streams. So see your 4 income streams. Oh yes, going back, I also have the 90-day plan planned out for you. So it's also going to be a download available for you. So you can actually plan your own, like I said there, your 3 phases. There is going to be a download especially for that to help you plan your 90 days with activities and things you can add there. So please use my downloads. Okay, they're all for free there. And then, like I said, you know the 5 readiness indicators. You've got your 4 income streams. You know your identity shifts you need to make. And now you have your 90-day framework that you can work on towards. The big thing is now you need to decide. You need to set a goal for yourself and say, by end of December, I am going to leave. By end of February, I'm going to leave. You need to make a goal and set to that goal and then work backwards to say, this is going to be my 90 day. This is going to be day 1 of my 90 days. And then you need to start implementing it all, everything like that. Okay. But the truth is, there's a difference between knowing and doing. Very big difference. You can have all this knowledge, but you're not going to do something about it. You're going to stay stuck. You're going to keep being stuck in that corporate job that you don't like anymore. Or maybe you actually do like your job, but you know there's something more. There's a freedom-based business, more traveling, more time with your kids, whatever it is that you really want, the reason why you want to become an entrepreneur. Okay. Now the question is to ask is, do you want to take this brave leap? But do you want to do it slowly, alone, and confused? Or do you actually want structure, speed, and strategy? So you can decide. You can do this on your own. You can take this, my knowledge, and you can watch my other classes. There's a lot, so there's a wealth of knowledge that I give you how to do it. But if you want to work with me to help you do it, I'm going to give you the structure, I'm going to give you the speed, I'm going to save you time, money, and energy of trying to figure it out your own. Okay, that is why I created my course called The Brave Leap. So The Brave Leap is basically a 3-phase course. So the first weeks we work on mindset. Like I said, guys, I'm all about the mindset because even today, it's my mindset that makes me scale. It's my mindset that actually helps me to work through the winter months. It's my mindset to think about abundance, about growth, nothing else. No circumstances. It's me. It's all about me. Second one, we're going to get clarity on your product, service, offering, your shop, whatever it is you want to do. I'm going to help you. We're going to do the market research. We're going to see if it's viable. We're going to get clear on your niche, on your target market, who's you want to try to get. And I'm going to tell you, it's too broad. You're not going to get advertising, because I know all about the rhythms and all the rhythms, the algorithms of Facebook and Instagram. I literally have a marketing agency working with me, and it's very interesting, and that's why I've even tried. You would see my videos differ from first I was a burnout coach, then I became a confidence coach, and it's like I tried everything, and now I've found exactly why I'm actually getting so much more clients, and my niche is just flying. This brave leap, guys. I'm very fortunate with this. I get to help a lot of women and men. But because I got my niche right, I got my messaging right, I got everything right, and now things are flowing. So I'm going to teach you out of my mistakes that I've made. And then, yeah, I'm going to help you to launch. I'm going to help you with the basics of marketing, the basics of sale, the basics of social media, and then the basics of the daily operations. What are the tasks you need to do every day? What are the things you have to look at? Admin is part of your job, no matter what you're going to do, and how to set up that for you so you don't feel overwhelmed. That's the main thing. So I'm going to help you to literally get your product off the ground and start launching, no matter what it is. Okay. So basically, the Brave Leap is a 12-week course. So it's pre-recorded videos that you are going to watch by yourself. So you can pause, you can write things down, you can listen to it over and over and over again. So this is what I love about pre-recorded videos, is that you can always pause, go back, listen to it again and again and again. Okay. So, and then after that, after you watch your video, once a week we are going to get together as a live call. And then you can literally bring all your questions to the table and I can literally sit and help you. Okay. You'll always have access to me via email or WhatsApp. And then the thing that's really nice is my comprehensive resources in the vault. So I call it the vault. So everything I've learned, every course I enrolled in, whatever it is, I'm going to give that to you. There is going to be from mindset things you're going to do by yourself to get your mindset right. There is going to help you to write down your niche, how to get the messaging right. There is chat DTP prompts, how to actually get viral hooks and all of those things. The daily operations, how to do sales, how to do your calls, how to overcome objections. All of that is going to be in the vault. Okay. You're also going to get access to my Confidence Alchemist community. So that is a community where like-minded women come together, and that's also very nice for networking. So you're going to be part of the network, and there you can also find potential clients. You can do collaborations, whatever it is. It's a nice community, and you're going to see that everybody fails, everybody learns, that you're not going to be alone. You're not alone in this journey. Okay. And yeah, you're going to have lifetime access to this vault and my recorded sessions. So no matter where you are in your journey, so perhaps maybe you have to pause for about 6 months, something major happened, you can always come back and listen to again and start again. Okay. So just some quick client results. So I helped Sarah start a Nuga business. So her husband passed away, and she was actually running his corporate engineering firm. She had no knowledge or expertise in engineering, and but yeah, that was her source of income. So she really tried, but she hated it because she had no passion or love for it. So I actually helped her, and I saw that she was actually making nougat at home, and people loved it, and I tasted it and it was amazing. So I actually helped her start a nougat business. And then through my connections, opening my network to her, I connected her to one of my big clients, a courier company guy who actually has a pantry. And he actually now launched her product in his pantry, and now she's selling shitloads, sorry for the word, but nougat into his network. So she made that. Another client of mine, Megan, also she wanted to quit corporate job. She didn't know what to do. After speaking to me, I found out that they actually have a holiday at home that they actually never go to, but it's there. So, they had to spend a little bit of money to revamp it and made it to Airbnb. And within 8 months, she could quit a corporate job because they're making more money through the B&B. Okay, so there's always ways to make money. And Michelle, she was literally in supply chain. They got products from Cape Town. She packed them and then she sent them out to all the clients. So she had the knowledge of supply chain. So I said, well, use that knowledge. And she started actually selling niche wines to some of her clients. And then she also literally quit her job because she could actually start making her own money being a reseller because she had the knowledge. There are the links to sign up if you are ready. And like I said, the masterclass special ends of 17th of August. And you need to know if this is right for you. I don't work with clients who is not committed. Like, I don't waste my time. Okay. I only work with women who are doers. Okay. If you're not ready to take the leap, give yourself time, do it on your own. But when you're ready, when you say, yes, Debs, I'm ready, I'm in, I want to make this a success. I don't want to waste any more time, money, and energy. I want to be coached by you. I want your help. I want to have this successful. Then you contact me. Then we have a quick clarity call, and I can see where you are, and I can explain to you what it is that you are going to get from me. Okay. But if you're not ready, if you are still thinking about it, you're sitting on a fence, I'm not your coach. Okay, I work with women who are committed and who are ready to create a business and a life that they deserve and they want. Because I can tell you guys, it's 5 years later, I'm making more money than I ever made in my corporate jobs. And I'm loving it. I'm my own boss. I don't have to ask for permission to take leave. I can literally take leave whenever I want. I decide my own hours. And yeah, I'm literally actually looking younger. The stress really made me old, and I'm happier. The first in my life, I can say I'm actually happy. And that is so much worth it. Okay. So, last slide is you need to decide where you want to be next year. You want to decide if you want to lose more money, time, and energy trying to figure it out alone, or you want to decide you want a freedom-based business and you can quit that 9 to 5 job that suck. Okay. So make a decision now, and when you are ready, really contact me. I'm here to help. I want to help you. I love helping women. It's a passion of mine to see successful businesswomen out there because we deserve it, guys. Come on, we get the kids, we get all the hard things happening to us. Why not create something that we really love and we're really proud of? Okay, if you have any questions, please, on my social media, slide into my DM, send me a DM. You can WhatsApp me if you have my telephone number. Here is my email address, info@debbiehartmanofficial.com. Please keep in contact with me. Comment on my social media, follow me on social media. There's always going to be some information about my next masterclass, whatever next course I'm going to launch. So please follow me on YouTube. And yeah, when you're ready, please contact me. We can have a clarity call. I can see where you're at, and let me help you actually create a business that you deserve. Okay. Thank you for listening, and I see you in my next masterclass. Goodbye.